What is going on, guys? It's your boy Chris from Sports Pick Chris. We're coming back to you with another NFL video. Let's do a little bit of a recap for the last two games that we've had. The Los Angeles Chargers getting mollywopped by the Houston Texans 32-12. A game we thought was probably going to be a blowout on the other side of the coin. Matt McConkey with 197 receiving yards is absolutely crazy. 82-yard touch or 86 or 82-yard touchdown on 3rd and 26. Joe Mixon, we had the over on his rushing yards at 70.5, so he smashed. It looked like a struggle in the first half, but once Houston started to get rolling in the second half, the running lanes were great for him. And then moving on to the Baltimore game, we had Lamar over completions at 18. He had 16. So, as you see, Derrick Henry had 186 rushing yards. Went absolutely bananas, but, I feel like we were on the right side of that. And then we also had, with Najee Harris over 11.5 touches. I think he had 7. Yet again, Pittsburgh goes down. They just forget how to hand the ball off. It's very disgusting to watch Pittsburgh football. They deserve to lose this game the way that they just don't know how to play offense anymore with Russell Wilson. They just expect to throw the football 50 times. The moment they get down, you saw it yesterday, the moment they get down, they don't run the football. It's gross. Like, if we gotta go. If we go back to the box score for this game, he had 6 carries for 17 yards, 2 carries for 6 yards. You can't run the ball 11 times. Like, you can't run the ball 11 times in a game and expect to be in the game at all costs. But then moving on, Lamar, we had 18, he had 16. We know he's a very efficient passer. We just expected a little bit of a bigger game from Nelly Aggs and Bateman. They both just got 3 targets combined. The tight ends were definitely the most targeted, with 7 targets at that grouping. So maybe going into the next round of the playoffs where the Baltimore Ravens will be going on, we look to attack some other spots. But moving on, we got a couple of plays for you guys today. Kind of attacking a different grouping definitely has helped me more in the past. We're going to go attack some fantasy score props. And the first one, I would have to say for fantasy score that we're going to be attacking is Javonte Williams. Javonte Williams' fantasy score is at 5.5 right now. The sportsbook has this as the over as the best bet of the weekend on the over. So when we did a little bit of research for Javonte Williams, as we know, it's a 3-man committee. Ostame, McLaughlin, and then Williams. Estime, rookie out of Notre Dame, is not a pass catcher at all. So between the reason why we like the fantasy score prop, it's just like normal fantasy football rules. He's averaging right around 3 or 4 catches a game and maybe about 4 to 5 carries a game. So he's probably going to get around 8 to 10 touches. And I think 5.5 fantasy score is just a little bit too low. And then once he's been able to, get some of those 10 touches, look against KC, the Chargers, Cleveland. He doesn't have to have the best game. And we also heard that there's probably some talks about Javonte Williams getting some goal line work. We expect them to be in the game, relatively speaking. Like, the one thing that the Denver Broncos will not do is get blown out. I know the line's at 8.5. It's already went down from 9.5 to 9 to 8.5. So, again, we expect the game to be closer than what the line is saying. But I think the Buffalo Bills are just going to be able to do what they want against Denver's defense. It's it's just Denver's defense is so good, probably the second best corner in the league, and Pat Surtain. I didn't like the receiving props against Denver. But so then we had to go to the running back side. So, and the pass catcher, in my opinion, the better of the two running backs, and Devontae Williams. I know people like McLaughlin a lot, the young legs, but this is more of carries, while Devontae Williams is getting more of the passing work. And so, all he needs is 3 catches for 20 yards, and boom, we smash with 4 touches and 12 yards. His line, I believe, was 2 catches for 11 yards, and then his touches were 3.5 carries for 14 yards. So, if all that's it, that's definitely the over on that. But best bet of the weekend that the sportsbook do have on our sportsbook props, going over to receptions. We're going to go check out Dallas Goedert. When we did check, it was at 3.5 last night. So if it's at 4, don't know if it's the best play, but I love it at 3.5. Let's just go typing this in. With all of these demon goblins and whatnot, they make it so hard. Dallas Goedert. 3.5 receptions. We love that. 3 of his last 5. The thing about Dallas Goedert is he catches 80% of his targets so far this season. He's had 4 catches in 6 out of 10 games. He was injured for 7 games, and he had 52 targets on the season. He caught 80% of those. He caught 43 balls. He's averaging right around 5 targets a game, and when he does get average at his 5 targets a game, he projectively, if he gets 80%, catches 80% of his balls, he should get 4 catches. Green Bay, and if we go look at the spread of the Green Bay game, 5.5. So we're again expecting a half decent game throughout of it. Jalen Hurts is back into the mix of things. We can expect a lot of check downs, a lot of in-breaking crossing routes for Dallas Goedert, and expect him to just get the ball. He's the 3rd option on this team behind A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. Everyone's going to say Saquon Barkley, number 1. That's handoff. Saquon is not too involved in the passing game at all for the Eagles, so Dallas Goedert being the 3rd option there. We're going to definitely see the coverage be rolled over to the A.J. Brown side. I know a lot of people like A.J. Brown's receiving props today. You're going up against Jair Alexander, Xavier McKinney in the back with 8 interceptions on the year. So I'm going to stay away from that side. I'm going to go to the underneath in-breaking guy. Dallas Goedert. Green Bay is not very good against tight ends. So like Dallas Goedert, again, if he gets his 5 targets, where the sportsbook are expecting 5 targets for Dallas Goedert, he should be able to hit that line. 5, 5, 6. Broke it. So he just needs 5 targets in the game to be able to hit his line. And then we are going to be looking at 2-0 on the weekend. Going over, we're just going to type him in. We got Austin Eckler receiving prop at 2.5 receptions. The biggest reason why we love this one is that we're not going to say he's out. When he came back last week against Dallas, he outsnapped Brian Robinson 60% to 40%. First week back. Game script, Brian Robinson has not been playing too well running the football. We don't think Austin Eckler is going to be too much of a threat in the running game. But what does Austin Eckler do so well for so many years? He catches the football. I think 2.5 is just a little bit too cheap. We think if it was at 3.5, we wouldn't love it. But the 2.5, the game script, we're expecting the game's going to be close. But the biggest thing that we love here is Jaden Daniels. At least on this prop, is Jaden Daniels is expected to throw the football. His passing yards at 238. His pass attempts are at 32.5. So their pass completions at 22.5. So they're expecting Jaden Daniels to throw the football a ton more recently. I mean, if you take away this Dallas game where he only played like a quarter and then put Marcus Mariota in there, but averaging over 34 passing attempts out of those 4 games. So we love when Austin Eckler can just get just a few catches out of that pod right there would be really great. But we love the Austin Eckler prop. He was injured coming back, out-snapping Brian Robinson. Tampa is the 6th most giving up receptions to the running back position, and which is great for this prop. And then on the other coin with Brian Robinson, okay, like, is Brian Robinson going to see the field too much? My opinion, no, because Tampa is the 4th best rush defense. They're just going to have to throw the football, and the better back of catching is going to be Austin Eckler. So we're going to take the Austin Eckler over 2.5. Going over, I don't know, people are going to love this prop, but when we were checking out, okay, what is the best props of the weekend? It's the Javonte Williams fantasy score, and then the Dawson Knox fantasy score are the 2 best props of the weekend when we took a look at things. His receptions props at 1.5. On any other sports books at 1.5. His receiving yards is at 11.5. So they're expecting him to get relatively 1 catch for 11 yards. Okay, so if he gets that 1 catch for 11 yards, he's at 2.1. So anything over that, that's a smash. Against this Jets game, we're going to take that out of it because he didn't play Week 18, and then against the Jets, they sat most of their starters by the second half, but he did have a catch in there. Again, fantasy score is just like PPR rules in fantasy football. He's going to be able to get some targets in there. I know his targets prop is gone, but his targets prop was at 2.5 earlier, which I thought was a crazy amount. So they're expecting him to get some targets during this game. Again, against Denver, I think the receivers are going to be locked up. They're going to look towards Kincaid and Knox in the middle of the field with some checkdowns to their running back. I feel like that's where the game script is going to go for Buffalo. They're going to be able to run the football a little bit, but I think that's when they go to the tight ends, get Knox on the field, and get Kincaid on the field. I think 2.5 is just too low. Again, it gets 2 catches for 5 yards, boomy hit. I think there's a chance where he gets 3 catches. I really like the demon prop on this line because they're going to play a lot of 2 tight end sets. He's going to run a lot of routes today for Buffalo. So this and Javonte Williams were like the percentage of the bet to hit. These 2 are the highest at 58% and 59%. So these 2 are going towards the player side of beating the sports books. And then last prop, I feel like I have to take him. He's been my MVP since week 1. I think his passing touchdowns are just a little bit too low, 1.5. I mean, I don't think it really mattered against San Fran, the Rams defense, Detroit's defense. I mean, he's been able to smash this prop at 1.5. I understand, again, we talked about the coin of being Denver's best defense, not targeting people too much on the outside. I never said that he had to throw a touchdown to Amari Cooper or Keenan Coleman or anyone. Check down to Dawson Knox, baby. Come on now. But I think realistically, it's gonna be a little bit of a running game for him. But when you get down to the red zone, you don't know what's gonna happen. And I think Josh Allen's gonna be able to throw the football. I'm gonna take Josh Allen passing yards at 1.5 each and every time. I'm gonna go with the hot hand, the consensus MVP with him and Lamar each and every time. So we'll take the passing touchdowns with Josh Allen 1.5. The sportsbook do like the under on this, but this is just my personal over. I again, you gotta ride the hot hand. Someone who again is playing against a good defense, but if you can go against a good defense like Denver's defense and be able to put on 3 passing touchdowns, walk out there with 30 points. I think when you play Baltimore next round, you're really going to put down the hammer and say, hey, we're going to not get mollywopped by you like we did in the middle of the season. So, I think the difference is, like, I think this is a statement game going against Baltimore for Buffalo for next week if they do come out victorious. But guys, thank you so much for watching. If you haven't already, make sure you leave a like and subscribe. Go follow our Twitter. We're always posting up our plays on Twitter. Yep, I'm still very salty about this pick. But if you haven't already, make sure you watch our player predictions video. Lions, Buffalo, Super Bowl. Maybe that's why I'm so high on Buffalo in today's game. But guys, just go watch that video, leave a like, and let me know your comments. In this video, make sure you leave a comment. Tell me if you're tailing or not, which plays you like the best. Feel free, again, to subscribe and then follow the Twitter. Hopefully you guys have a great day, and make sure you guys stay green.